Hey Preston, this is Nick. This is like the 20th time I've made this video, and it always ends up too long, and it takes like forever to load, and then it times out, or whatever. So I'm going to talk as quick as I can and be more concise than I wish I could be, or be more concise than I wish I had to be, and try to get this done, and get it all in. So you talk about seasonal affective disorder. I wonder maybe if you're getting too much sleep. You said you woke up at 11, got up, you was tired by 3. Too much sleep will cause you to get tired. Not enough nutrients and vitamins, and not enough exercise. So those are some things to look at. See if maybe your sleeping patterns, your eating patterns, make sure you're getting out into the sunlight, because the sunlight provides you with vitamins. And if you're not getting that, maybe you need to take some vitamins, like a multivitamin, and maybe that'll help. I know that I've been depressed at times, and I slept a lot, and the sleeping makes you more tired, which makes you more depressed, and it's a vicious cycle. And I found that I really, like, even though I might have been tired to get up after 6 or 7 hours of sleep, I ultimately felt better. It sounds like most of your frustrations are coming from being around people who are younger than you, who are less mature. And I want to bring up the idea that perhaps these 18-year-old guys are not so much expressing their opinion about transsexual people as they are developing their opinion about transsexual people. I think that these guys, I think it's, well, I mean, I don't know because I wasn't there, but I think it's entirely possible that these guys were really just putting out feelers, trying to find out what other people think about this. I think that they obviously don't think that you can definitely tell a transsexual from looking at them. You know, if they're saying that they could potentially be surprised by a woman with a penis later. So at least they can recognize, you know, that that you can't necessarily tell a person. And though I can imagine that that isn't really what that sensitivity sure probably didn't come out in what they were saying. But I think it's entirely possible that they were actually just trying to find out, what am I supposed to think about masculinity, about transsexual people, about heterosexuality and sexuality, and that they were more developing their opinions than expressing them through that conversation. And I could be wrong, but that's my take, is that that's entirely possible. So, given that that's entirely possible, I also think that it's very possible that they may be very receptive to you if you did approach them in, quite the right way. And because they may look up to you being older, I don't know. I know one day a guy at work told me, well, first off, I used to say, you shouldn't say gay, because I have gay friends, and that hurts people's feelings. And I realize now that in some instances that is the correct thing to say, but in all instances it's not very effective, because it just basically says you shouldn't say that around me. When in reality it doesn't address the underlying issue. So I think like this guy came up to me one day and said, "Oh, I heard about this guy sucking his own dick. That's gay." And I know he just means it's an offhanded comment, but I said, "Is it gay? Is it gay? Like, when you jerk off, are you giving a guy a hand job? And he's like, "No, that's not gay." And I was like, "Okay." So, and he's like, "Okay, I guess it's not gay. It's just gross." And I was like, "Exactly." So, approaching it something like that, kind of going around the topic without hitting it head on, but effectively making them think about it, because sometimes they just have to think about it. And if everybody in the room reinforced their opinion and the way that they were developing that opinion, then they maybe don't know how bad it was. So there's 3 ways gotta try to be quick on this. There's three ways that you could deal with it. You said it looks like you're doing it passively. You're not saying that you're upset. You're not saying that you're upset about the noise. Um, but you don't want to be aggressive about it either. You said that you're not one for confrontation. And aggression is usually just met with aggression right back, and that would probably just cause more problems. So assertiveness is this middle ground. And going into it, maybe the way I did with that guy, by going around the topic to address the topic, or however you find works for you to bring it up. But at least, I would at least bring up the fact that they're being noisy because you have homework and things to do. And if they're being inconsiderate, I would let them know, because sometimes people just don't know how much people can hear what they're doing. And as I said, maybe I didn't say in this video, maybe in the 20 others, but I used to be a resident advisor in the dorms, and this is a very common problem, and approaching it in an assertive manner is absolutely the most effective way to do it, because they will never know you're upset unless you tell them. And I can understand your fear about that, not wanting to out yourself to the situation. And honestly, my perception of it is that they were threatened by this idea of a chick with a dick because that threatened their sexuality. But I have the feeling that you will not be as threatening to them, because one, you're not a potential partner, and two, because obviously, like, if I don't know what 2 was, just never mind. I don't want to make this a 20-minute video. So, but I have the feeling that they may not necessarily associate you, even if they did figure out you were trans. They may not associate you in the same way with trans women, even though this was not really a conversation about trans women. This was a conversation about whether they, in my opinion, their own personal sexuality and dealing with that. Okay, I gotta try to hurry, because it takes like hours for this thing to process, and it's not my computer. So, the most important thing, honestly, is the part that you said we shouldn't have to worry about, but I worry about anyway, with anybody that is depressed. I take suicide very seriously. And you said, is it worth it? Is death easier? And I can tell you this, like, for whatever ease it might seem, however easy it might seem to die, like, it's you can't come back, and you can't come back, so that's impossible. So it seems like the most potential that you possibly can have in your future is to not die. It would be to keep going. And if you say, I don't think I can make it through this week without hitchhiking to India and swimming in the Ganges, well, by all means, hitchhike to India and swim in the Ganges. Like, whatever it takes to keep you going. That's the whole point of all of this. What is life except it not being death? You know what I mean? So whatever it takes for you to keep enjoying, to keep living, do it. That's why I transitioned. That's why a lot of people transition. And we have to find more hope along this journey, to keep us going, more energy to keep us going. And whatever it takes to find that energy, by all means, find it. Because, if you regret it, you can't undo it. So, and I personally believe that our consciousness remains after death, so that we can regret things after death. So, just take care of yourself, and I hope that you get all this worked out. Take it easy, man.